What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with Samsung Galaxy A73 5G tips and tricks and hidden features. So if you want to get the most out of your device, then stay tuned. Now with the Galaxy A73 5G, we have a very large display here at 6.7 inches. Now that's great for content consumption and pretty much everything except for reachability. If you want to use this phone with just one hand, it is pretty much impossible to reach certain portions of the operating system. Now thankfully, Samsung has come up with a very cool solution to this, and it's called One-Handed Mode. Now it's not enabled by default, so let me show you how to set this up. So what you're going to do is pull down the shade, then go to the gear icon in the upper right corner, which is the settings. Then from here, go to search and type in One-Handed, and you'll see right there under advanced features, we have One-Handed Mode. So go there, and then you'll see it right here, and then enable that. And there's also two different options for this. But essentially, as you can see in this animation, it shrinks down the display, so you almost have like a mini phone, so a smaller version of the entire operating system. Now there's two options, there's gesture and button. For me personally, I find using it with the button method a lot better. It's a lot more consistent as well. So essentially, once you switch over to that, all you have to do is double tap on the home button to get into one-handed mode. So we'll do that. There we go. And you can see we have a smaller version of the phone right here. Then from there, you can just navigate around and you can do all the normal stuff that you do on your Galaxy A73 5G. So you can see I have great reachability all throughout. And then when I'm done with one-handed mode, all I have to do is just tap outside of that area, and then it expands things back to how it normally is. Now heading back over to this, we have some other customizations. So you can see, for example, we can switch this over to the left side of the display if we want to. So if you want to use the phone with just your left hand, it's much better for that. We also have the ability to move this around as well. So if you want it to be kind of more in the center, you can do that too. Again, you can do it on the other side as well. And then also, in addition to that, you can grab onto the corner and make further adjustments. So if you want the one-handed mode display to be a little bit bigger, you can do that. And if you want it to be a bit smaller, you can do that too. So a really cool feature, I like how convenient it is, and I also appreciate how easy it is to get in and out of this mode. Now the next feature I want to show you is called Side Key. Now this is already enabled by default, so if you double press on the power button, it's going to immediately pull up the camera app. So it doesn't matter where you are throughout the operating system, if you double press on the power button, it pulls up the camera. You can even have the display completely off, and if you do this, it'll still take you right over to the camera. So that's super convenient, and I can see most people sticking with that, but you can actually customize this to pull up any app of your choosing. So let me show you how to do that. So you're gonna pull down the shade, go to the settings, go to search, then from here, you're gonna type in Side Key. There it is right there, and then Side Key. And you can see that we have a variety of different options. So by default, you can see here that by double pressing on the side key, it does quick launch the camera, but we have another option here to open app. So if you go there, you can choose from any app on the device to have the side key enable. So let's say we want to switch this to Instagram instead. So I'll choose Instagram, and then now, no matter where I am throughout the operating system, if I double press, it now pulls up that app. So super convenient. And while we're in this area here, we have another option. So by default, if you press and hold on the power button, it pulls up Bixby, which I know there's a lot of people that don't use that feature. So if you are one of those people, you might want to switch over to the power off menu instead. So now if you press and hold on that button, it's going to pull up the buttons to power off, restart, and then go into emergency mode. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to take a screenshot with the Samsung Galaxy A73 5G. Now there's two methods to do this. The first method is to hold the volume down and power buttons at the same time for about a second. You can see just like that, it took the screenshot. Then from there you can edit it or share it. But there's also another option called palm swipe to capture. So this is already enabled by default, and essentially all you have to do is swipe the edge of your hand across the screen to take a screenshot. So let's try that. There we go, it took the screenshot. So very easy there. Let's try it one more time on the home screen. There we go. So kind of another cool option, but for me at least, I just find holding the volume down and the power button at the same time a little bit faster to take a screenshot, but at least there are two options. Now moving on, the next thing I want to show you is the edge panel. So you might have noticed this already, but it is in the upper right corner. It's this little almost like notch thing here. And if you swipe that over, you get a lot of quick toggles here. So we have certain apps here already. There's also some presets. So if you go here, it'll pull up those two apps at the same time in split screen. So that's pretty nice. Another cool thing about the Edge panel too is that let's say you have a certain app pulled up and you want to quickly go into split screen. So you'll swipe over and you can customize all these. So again, the default is not the way it has to be. But let's say you want one half of this display to be a different app. I'm going to choose the Messages app. So you just hold down and then drop it right there. And then it splits things right in half so that you have the Messages app down here and then your web browser up here. So of course you can do this with any app, but this is just one example of that. And then when you want to get out of here, you just drag the bar one way or the other to have one of the apps completely take over. Now heading back over here, you can see that we have this menu button down below here. Going there gives us all apps, or you can edit as well. So you can pick and choose how you want to set this up, which is pretty nice. And also there's a gear icon here as well, and if you go there, you can even further customize the Edge panels. So you can see that by default, we have the apps, but you can also switch it to people, Smart Select, Tasks, Weather, Tools, Reminder, and Clipboard, and you can even go to the Galaxy Store for even more options. So I definitely recommend kind of changing things up here, trying different options, and seeing what best works for you. Now, if you don't want the Edge panel feature at all, maybe you're tired of seeing this in the side of your device, then head over to the settings, go to search, type in Edge, and you'll see right there Edge panels. Go there, and then now you can completely disable it, and there won't be any Edge panels to be found. Also in this area, you can head over to Handle, and you'll see that we can actually pick what color you want this to be. So maybe you want this to be blue instead or green. You can choose that. You can pick the transparency as well, which is pretty interesting. You can also make customizations to the size of it too. So a lot of different customizations here. I definitely recommend kind of changing things to how you'd want it to be, but just know that all these different abilities are in the settings area. Now with the Samsung Galaxy A73 5G, we do have the traditional 3-button Android navigation as the default. Now, I have a feeling that most people do prefer this, even though over the last few years, Android has kind of been pushing the gesture-based navigation instead. But just know that you can actually switch the phone over to gesture-based navigation if you want to. And if you've never used that, then I do at least recommend giving it a try. So I'll show you how to set that up right now. But you're going to go over to the settings once again, go to search, type in nav, and you'll see right there navigation bar. Then from there, you're going to go here, and you'll see that we do indeed have the buttons as the default, and you can also customize the buttons too. So if you want to have the back button on the left side and the recent apps on the right side, you can switch around the button order. So it is possible that this might be better for you. It really depends on personal preference. But also we can head over to swipe gestures, and if you do that, the bottom bar goes away, and now we have just this little line down here. Now you don't even need that. You can turn off gesture hint if you want to, so that there's no line at all. So you just use the gestures as normal. There's just no guideline down at the bottom there. So that's an option. We can also head over to the more options here too, and you can adjust the sensitivity of this. So if you want it to be less sensitive or more sensitive, you can do that. And we also have another option here called swipe from bottom. That's kind of like a hybrid between the two. So if you go there, we now have 3 lines at the bottom. The middle one takes you to the home screen. The one on the left side here takes you to your recent apps. And then if you swipe up from the right side, it'll take you back. So a lot of different options when it comes to navigation here in the phone. So I definitely recommend really checking this out and seeing what you prefer, because who knows, maybe the default method of doing it isn't even the way that you'll actually end up wanting to use the phone. Now, one of my favorite parts of Android definitely has to be the app drawer. But there's another really cool thing hidden here, and it's called Hide Apps. So if there's a certain app that you don't want to show up on your home screen, and you also don't even want it in the app drawer, then you can completely hide it. So let's, for example, hide Facebook. So what you're going to do is go to these 3 dots in the upper right corner, then go to Settings, and then you're going to see Hide Apps right there. So go there, and then now find the app you want to hide. So again, I'm going to hide Facebook. Go to Done, and then now when we go back here, you can see Facebook is now not on the home screen anymore, and it's also nowhere to be found in the app drawer. So you can hide as many apps as you want, and if you want to bring them back, just go to the same area here, go back to Hide Apps, you'll see it right there under Hidden Apps, remove that, go to Done, and then the app won't reappear to where it was before, but you can now then see it once again in the app drawer, and then you can set things up however you want to set them up. Now with the Galaxy A73 5G, we have a nice little area here that has the date and time. Now you can further customize this clock if you want to, and I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to pull down the shade, go to the settings, go to the search, type in clock, and you'll see right there clock style. Then go there. And then now you'll see that we have a variety of different clock faces here. So you can do a different configuration for the date and time. You can also do analog if you want to. You can even pick a color or gradient to correspond with that. So let's make it blue. I'm going to go to done. And then now when you go to your lock screen, you can see that it's completely different and customized. So kind of interesting there. You might prefer to make some modifications to that. And if so, that's how you do it. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the motions and gestures menu. Now, I already showed you a few things within that already, but let me show you everything else. So we're going to go to search, you're going to type in motions, and you'll see right there motions and gestures under advanced features. Go there, and you'll see that there are a few things that are not enabled by default, and probably some other things that you're not even aware of. So the first one here is called lift to wake. So once you enable that, just by picking up the phone, it will turn on the screen. So let's give that a try. There we go, that did work. We also have double tap to turn on the screen and double tap to turn off the screen. These are enabled by default, so we'll give that a try right now. So if you double tap on the wallpaper where there's no icons, it'll turn off the screen. And then if you double tap on the screen when it's off, it will turn the screen back on. So very nice. You can see this one too, keep screen on while viewing. So with this feature, it will use the front-facing camera to figure out whether or not you're looking at the display, and if you are, then it won't turn the display off. Now heading back over to the main settings page, there's a few display settings I want to show you. So we'll go here. First thing is we have light and dark mode. You can also set a schedule for this if you want to as well. We also have motion smoothness. So one of the signature features of this phone is that it does have a 120 Hertz refresh rate. And that's a great feature, but it does use up a bit more battery compared to the standard 60 Hertz. So if you really want to save battery with this device, you can switch over to standard if you want to, and everything's going to work. It's just that things aren't going to look as smooth when scrolling around. So that might be a good thing to do if you find yourself going through your battery pretty quickly there. We also have Eye Comfort Shield, so with that enabled, that's especially great towards the end of the day. We also have screen mode. So we have choices here. We have vivid and natural, and then we can also adjust the white balance so you can make it really warm or really cool as well. And then here's what natural looks like. We can also go to advanced settings to even change things further. So a lot of different modifications you can make involving how the display looks. So I definitely recommend kind of trying some different things out to see what you really prefer here. There's another option here as well. It's called easy mode. So if you're setting this phone up for somebody that might not be as good with technology and you want a very simple layout, you can switch over to this. And then by doing that, you kind of just have the core functionalities, which could come in handy. And then the last thing I want to show you is power saving mode. So go to search, type in power, and you'll see right there, power saving. And you can see that first thing is this is not enabled at all times. In fact, this is a feature that I would really only recommend enabling if your phone is already low on battery or if you know you have a long day ahead of you with no ability to recharge the device. But essentially with that enabled, it will limit a lot of background tasks and other things to give your phone the most amount of battery life possible. You can see too, there's further adjustments you can make. If you want to turn off 5G, you can do that too to save some battery. You can also limit CPU speed to 70%, decrease brightness by 10%, and turn off the always-on display. You can even limit apps in the home screen as well. So a lot of different options here, but just know that if your device is running low on battery, you can head over to the power saving menu to really make things be a bit better. But this concludes my video on tips and tricks and hidden features for the Samsung Galaxy A73 5G. I hope you learned something new today in this video, and if you liked it, definitely give it a thumbs up. But this is Kevin, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye.